This portion of SportsCar Revolution is brought to you by Hankook Tires. Around the track and on the street, Hankook is pure driving emotion.
Well, we're another step closer to getting this car to the track. The pros here at BSI today are installing a larger radiator, an oil cooler, and a racing clutch to ensure a full season of racing.
And these guys are going to see varying weather conditions at the different tracks. It's going to be awful hot in particular weekends, and keeping the cars cool, both in the water and oil department, are going to be critical to keeping them up front.
Obviously, we've removed the stock radiator. The stock radiator is a very nice piece, but we've now replaced it with a Ron Davis aluminum racing radiator. This radiator is thicker, has larger fin capacity, holds more coolant, and obviously will cool this car much, much better. We've had much experience with Ron Davis's units, and I suppose this one will be just as good.
The fact that we've changed the radiator is due to the fact that we've also changed some other parts. The intake system and the exhaust system. We're just plain making more power. And when you're making more power, you're making more heat. There's no way getting around that. And we need more efficiency in the radiator. And so we put in a much larger aluminum radiator.
We received the oil cooler from Mazda Speed. We actually had to unbolt the stock flange from the side of the block. Once we did that, we had some hoses and fittings which will enable the plumbing to reach the sandwich plate adapter, and then thus in turn bolt that back to the block, install those hoses, those fittings, and then the oil filter threads back on. At the same time, we installed our oil pressure switch for our AIM data acquisition system. We want to monitor that oil pressure. There was a real nice convenient fitting right on that sandwich plate adapter that allowed us to do that.
The oil cooler that we're using is a liquid-cooled oil cooler, and it's cooled by the coolant in the engine, and also cooled and heated. So as the coolant temperature rises faster than the oil temperature in the engine, it actually brings the oil up to temperature so that it gets to an optimum operating temperature faster. And it also, the liquid coolant has a maximum temperature of about 220, 230 degrees under pressure before it boils. So that means that the oil will kind of maintain and get very rarely get any higher than that.
The clutch is actually supplied by Mazda Speed, but is ACT clutch, Advanced Clutch Technology. We've used those in our Spec Miata cars for many, many years. Very good piece. That clutch actually is a stiffer clutch. The spring rate is stiffer, and also obviously uses a different friction material on that, and it is a solid hub clutch. It isn't a spring clutch as like the stock clutch.
The racing clutch disc that we've installed is a puck type, and it's got much less friction surface area. That actually, we've got the pressure plate makes the same amount of spring pressure on the disc, and consequently, with less pressure, we get higher per square inch pressure on the smaller pads. And what makes the clutch disc grab at a lot more violently than what the standard one does. So it's not as comfortable for stop-and-go driving from stoplight to stoplight, but it's a matter of, and to a large degree, that's why you see race cars when they leave the pits spinning the tires, because it's not going to engage smoothly. It's a matter of it's either all on or all off, and they rev it up, drop the clutch, and away they go, and it's actually easier on the clutch.
Well, we're almost ready to take this car to the track. We have one small change we're going to make, and I guarantee if you do this to your street car, you're going to be faster. So tune in next week.
After the break, Loriman talks accessories, and we take this perfectly good.